Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to my channel! My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Star Wars The Clone Wars Wild Space by Karen Miller. Ironically, I still, going into this year, still had several Clone Wars novels that I had yet to read because some of these are a lot harder to find, surprisingly. This was actually a trade paperback original. It wasn't a hardcover book, it was a trade paperback book, kind of like No Prisoners was, and like the Gambit duology that Karen Miller also did. And so I'm just now getting into these books. In the next 2 months, I'll have the Gambit duology by Miller read as well. But I picked this up, and I was a little apprehensive going into this because I wasn't sure. People don't really talk about these books very much. And after reading No Prisoners, I didn't love No Prisoners. I thought it was fine, but I didn't particularly love what Karen Traviss did with the characters here. So when I picked up Wild Space, I didn't know what to expect, and I was blown away by what Karen Miller does in this book. First of all, she picks up right after the Battle of Geonosis for about the first 35 pages, and it's heart-wrenching. It is so heartfelt, and it is so well written, and I just really connected with the characters in this book. And I thought that she did a tremendous job of getting Yoda, of getting Padme, Obi-Wan, and just the way that Karen Miller gets all these main characters was fantastic. And it felt like it was a natural progression from the movie Attack of the Clones. And then it felt like it blended perfectly with the Clone Wars story style storytelling, and it just jumps right in. And when we jump up to the time that the book takes place, which is in the middle of season 1 of the Clone Wars, it was just so delightful getting to see the story unfold. And this book is primarily an Obi-Wan and Bail Organa book, although there's several other POV characters. Anakin and Ahsoka have POV perspectives. We also see stuff from Yoda and Mace Windu's point of view, and we see a story from Palpatine's point of view. But the majority of the story is Obi-Wan and Bail Organa. And the story takes place during the Clone Wars TV show, during when R2-D2 gets lost. I think it's in like episode 5, where R2-D2 is lost, and then Anakin and Ahsoka have to go out and try to find him. That's when this book takes place, and you're following it from Obi-Wan's perspective, where he is working with Bail Organa, who he doesn't really know that well at this point. They've like met, but they don't know each other as people, and so they're having to work together because Bail Organa gets tipped off about something about the Sith, and he and Obi-Wan go to investigate that, and they have to go into Wild Space. And just reading their dynamic was really excellent because Bail Organa is a very different character here than he is in Revenge of the Sith, and from what you see of him in maybe the TV shows. But what makes it work so well is that you see how he becomes the good friend of Obi-Wan. You see how they develop the friendship, the camaraderie, and you see the trust build, because the trust is not there to begin with. Obviously, there's a little bit of respect. They're, Jedi and Senator kind of respect each other, but the trust is built here as they have to work together, and I really like seeing their dynamic together. I think it was a big risk the way that Karen Miller took it, but it worked well. And the other characters, Padme, Anakin, Ahsoka, just felt perfectly like their Clone Wars counterparts. Whereas, again, just for comparison's sake, Karen Traviss, sometimes some of the stuff felt like it fit the Clone Wars show, and sometimes it just felt like Karen Traviss was just doing her own thing. So I liked when Karen Miller was actually following the blueprint of the show and the tone of the show. And it even gets a little bit much more adult than the show does in ways, but I think it works very well. All the stuff with Yoda and his distrust of Palpatine, and his Yoda being the one to thrust Anakin into new situations, and Obi-Wan being the hang on, I'm not sure he's ready, was just a really fascinating dynamic that I really liked. But the way that my favorite part of the book is just the way that Karen Miller just tells story. Just it felt like Star Wars. It just felt like I'm just in the familiar it's a new story, but it's familiar to me. I enjoy the way that she writes these characters and the way that she writes the Star Wars world. Because there's some authors that come in and try to write Star Wars, and it just does not feel like a Star Wars book. Or there's authors that come in and it feels like Star Wars, but there's not story there. This one, the story was there, and it felt like Star Wars, and it just really worked for me. One of my good friends, who's a book reader, and we talk about books a lot, he is not the biggest fan of this book, and he is not a fan of the way Palpatine's used in the book. I actually really liked how Palpatine was used. I thought it was kind of interesting, his role and his goals in the book. It really reminded me of some of his stuff from Outbound Flight that Tim Zahn also did. So I really liked him in the book. I really liked all the main characters in the book. It really worked for me. It felt like I'm reading an episode of the TV show. There's one thing that brought it down a little bit, that, brought it down from its pedestal, and that was the stuff on Zagula. So at the beginning of the book is the post-Geonosis, and then you have about the first half of the book is kind of stuff on Coruscant, after the Battle of Christophsis, after the stuff on Teth. It's very much early on in the Clone Wars. And then, about halfway through the book, when Anakin and Ahsoka are off doing their thing, Obi-Wan and Bail Organa go to Zagula, which is supposed to be this like old Sith planet where there's no Sith there, but like the spirits of Sith are there, and it's just not the type of story that just particularly works for me. There are other books that going to Sith planets and stuff works for me. I'm thinking of Christie Golden's book. What was it? Ascension Ascension. That was a great example of this. But it doesn't always work for me, and it's not. I think any other author would have probably had a hard time doing the Zagula stuff, and so I didn't love that part of the book. But what I did like about that was Obi-Wan and Bail Organa's dynamic together. So I really liked reading Wild Space. It is a really fun book, even though it's about 340 pages, which is significantly longer than No Prisoners. I breeze through it. It's such a fun read, such a quick read, and it makes me so excited because of the 10 Star Wars books that I have left after this. Yes, I have 10 adult books after this, and then I'm done with the EU. And of the 10 books I have left, 2 of them are Karen Miller books, and so that makes me really excited to read more of her books. So if you've read The Clone Wars Wild Space, let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think it works well with the show? Do you think it works well with Star Wars? Did you enjoy the novel? Let me know those thoughts in the comments section down below, and let me know what you think of her Gambit duology. I'm excited to read that too. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.